Hey there, my friend. I'm Melissa Corley Carter, and in this video, I'm going to give you a look inside the Running Your World Wisdom Card deck and the creative process behind it. Running Your World is the companion deck to my book, Running the World, Marathon Memoirs from the Seven Continents, which, as you can imagine, is about my journey of completing marathons on all 7 continents. And it's also about my journey of recovering from shattered dreams and realigning my life with powerful purpose. That all comes out in universal life lessons that anyone can apply, which leads me to the inspiration for the name of the deck, Running Your World. My mentor and friend, Dr. Robert Fugate, who wrote the foreword to Running the World, actually pointed out in his foreword that what the book really does is share guidance and philosophy for running your world. So when I received the lightning bolt idea to create a card deck that would go with the book, that was the obvious choice for the name. So thank you for that, Bob. My intention for creating this deck was to inspire you to pause, ground yourself in the moment, connect with your body and soul, reclaim the power you have to create your life in each moment, and commit or recommit to shining your light in the world. So let's take a look. The first card is an overview, and also it shares that intention and then some loose guidelines for how to use the cards. And the most basic of those is really that there are no rules. So take this process and make it your own and play with it and just let it emerge naturally for you. There's also an about card, and then all the rest of the cards are photos from running the world on one side with an inspirational message and reflection prompts on the other side. Now, when I first started the deck, when I had the idea for it, I sat down and I chose 56 photos, 8 from each of the 7 continents. I named them all for a theme that the photo evoked for me. And then over the next 13 months, every week, I wrote a new card message. So I would shuffle the cards, which were basically in PowerPoint at the time. I would shuffle them and then ask to be guided to whichever one wanted to be written that week. And then really it felt like such a cosmic collaboration. I really felt like each message created itself through me. So I would create a new message each week for 13 months. And then when I was finished creating all of the messages, I started doing weekly card draw videos. So basically drawing them on video, which I'm still doing. So still doing those each week. And I knew that I was going to make it into an actual, card deck at some point. But I didn't know exactly when. I didn't know what the timeline was going to be. And a couple times I sat down and said, okay, this is it. This is my number one priority. I'm going to focus on my cards. And then something else would come up and I wasn't working on my cards. And, I would tell people I was working on my cards, and then I realized I wasn't working on them. So I went through a lot of kind of iterations of that. And part of me thought I was procrastinating, but when it all kind of came together, I realized, and this is always the case, that I was really just waiting for right timing. So there was an evolution of just the way that I share my work in the world. I was continuing to grow and evolve myself. And when everything started to align and come together, it turned out that this past May was when I, no kidding, made making this, the next version of the card deck my number one priority. And it really just all flowed together. So it's like one of these, it took 2 years. And then in the moment, it actually took about 2 weeks of no kidding, laser focus to review all the cards and rewrite some of the messages. So again, with my own evolution and growth and having been drawing cards for, a couple of years now and sharing the messages and talking about the things that I talk about and want to share in the world, seeing how all that evolved, impacted and influenced how I rewrote some of the card messages. So some of them stayed exactly the same. Some of them just got minor tweaks, and some of them were completely rewritten. And then the design process in Canva came in. So I made the cards, designed them in Canva, and then sent them to the printer. And, when you are sharing a digital image or it's printed in a book, you can basically print the photo as you'd like it to be. But when it is becoming a card and it's going to actually get cut out, there are things like bleed lines and cut lines. So your photo, you're not going to get the entire photo. You're going to get like the outside border is going to be cut off. So that presented an interesting design challenge for a couple of cards. It worked fine for most of them, but I'll say one of them, I had this vision card, right? So this is what the PowerPoint cards look like. And so I was, very proud of myself for composing this photo with these ginormous statues, making them look super tiny compared to the big giant sky. and then you put this in a computer program and you're going to get the outside border all cut off, there basically would have been no moai in this picture. And the card would have just been of blue sky, which has its own significant message. So, I could have done that, but that wasn't exactly where I wanted that card to go. So that said to me that the vision card was wanting to be rewritten. Incidentally, vision is a really big theme in my life. And the picture that ended up coming out with it was this one. And I did end up really rewriting the message because of all the kind of the new evolution. So this kind of speaks to something I really like about boundary conditions or constraints, which might sound limiting when you hear those words, but in fact, for the creative process, they really help. They spark creativity, they spark new solutions and new outside the box thinking of ways to do things. So I find that whenever I have, either a character limit, like for Instagram posts, or for something like this where, I need to pick a new picture, that's exciting. What picture wants to come through and what message wants to come through? Those kind of constraints really lead to even more creative inspiration. So that whole process, kind of went on, and kind of going through all of that helped the deck really evolve in an even, newer and more exciting way. So going through all the rewrites, there ended up being a couple cards that got rewrites and new names. They got new themes. There were a couple of themes that got new pictures. And then there were actually two completely new cards that came out. So we've got Nourish and Visibility that took the place of retired or cards that got retired or absorbed into other cards. So it was fun to see some completely new ones come out as well. And again, the ones that stayed exactly the same as just sort of bastions of things that I have absolutely always known and loved to share. So huge range of what the cards look like, what they say, and how they evolved. So it's been a super fun creative process, and I am just beyond excited to share it with you. So back to the deck itself. Again, showed you the cards. I'll just pick another one because I keep showing you the same one. Let's see. We'll take this one. So like I said, you have the photo on the front and the message on the back. Now, one other thing about that, most or a lot of anyway, card decks are like playing cards, where all the backs look the same and then the face cards are what's different. Most card decks like that will have a guidebook. So you draw your card and it might have a little information on the side that's, has the unique message on it, but you go to the guidebook to get the in-depth information, which is super cool, totally works. And I will also admit to being a little bit of a lazy card deck user. And if I have to go look in a book to see what the message is, I know that I'm probably not going to do it. So card decks that work best for me are when all the information is right there. So that is what I created for you as well. And so again, we've got the card on the photo on one side, the message on the other. Now the potential drawback for that is that then you have a choice. If you draw your card and you want to display it for a while, you choose either the artwork side or the message side. So with that, I tend to display the message side, which makes me, kind of a little bit miss the artwork. So what I did to slightly mitigate that here is actually copy the image on the back. Now, obviously you can't read anything if it's the full color message, or the full color photo. So all of the photos are in blue tones kind of in the background. So you can see it a little bit. And so you still get the essence of what the photo looks like, even when you're looking at the message. So hopefully you enjoy that. Then let's see, other pieces on the back here. It'll also, each one will say what continent it's from and where the photo was taken. So that's information that I also share every time I do a card draw, when I do those weekly card draws. So I like to have that there just so you know where the photo comes from. And then last but not least, MC squared, my initials. And that's actually relevant. And actually I'm wearing a shirt that says E equals MC squared, which I love because the E in E equals MC squared stands for energy. And everything I do is about energy. So this comes all the way full circle back. What this equation actually means is that matter and energy are the same thing. So you are energy, and energy is light. So you are light. That is the message of everything I talk about. It's my mission in this world to shine my light and inspire you to shine yours, and to help you know that you are light and you absolutely deserve to shine it, and the world wants you to shine it. So with that, I hope this deck will inspire you and help you to shine your light. If you'd like to order yours, you can do that at the link in my bio or below this video. And if you have any questions that I haven't covered, go ahead and send me a message and I would love to answer them. And I look forward to our very first official card draw with this deck tomorrow. So stay tuned.